This video was intended to inform and educate the public.
Welcome once again to the Junkyard News. I'm your host, Junkyard Dog. We're here today to discuss a story that came out a little while ago. It's not that old. The story in itself is old, but the lawsuit, the complaints, all that is relatively just coming to light now. Consider this. You're an African-American gentleman. You're out running errands. You're just minding your own business, going about your day. You stop over at a friend's house. You have some fun. You start heading home, driving down the road. All of a sudden, in your rear view, you just happen to see red and blue lights. That's right. You're being pulled over. Now, I don't know about you, but anytime I see red and blue lights flashing in the back, the first thing I think of is, oh crap, what'd I do now? Then you pull over. Can you imagine how surprised you'd be when you don't even realize you did anything wrong to begin with, but you pull over, and as you're looking in the side mirror of the vehicle, looking back, getting ready to present your driver's license and registration and proof of insurance when the officer decides to come up, you look, and all of a sudden you see multiple cars and men pointing guns at you. That would immediately cause me to freak out. I've had guns pointed at me before. Some of you may remember the encounter I had when I was taking pictures out in Costa Mesa. And I heard somebody yelling behind me, and I turned around and saw police pointing guns and another officer taking shelter by a standing sign by the fairgrounds, pointing what looked like an AR-15 type rifle at me.
Don't shoot me! There's no paid vacations here, guys!
Listen to the command or get bit by a police dog. You understand?
All because I had a camera in my hand taking pictures and I had my legally owned and carried taser on me. Yeah. It immediately causes your adrenaline to spike, start sweating, and like, holy smoke, what is going on? That is a situation that a driver found himself in back in 2020 in Aurora, Colorado. His name is Teddy Pittman. At the time, 44. He recalls about the incident that transpired that we're going to go over a little bit today as a moment of shock. He was shocked, said Teddy Pittman, of the incident in which police forced him out of his vehicle at gunpoint,
Out of the vehicle with your hands where we could see them.
ordered him on the ground, then ordered him to crawl on his belly on the cement away from the vehicle, all while guns pointed at him.
There you go.
And remember, he has no idea what this is about. All he knows is he's an African-American driver. Well, let's just say driving while black. That's pretty much what we're going to call this. Driving while black. After they had him crawl on his belly away from the vehicle in the street in a felony stop position, they gradually made their way to him while he was on the ground, arms stretched out, prone position on the hot cement. Officer comes up, points his handgun right at his head, standing over him, while another officer comes up, puts a knee on his back, handcuffs him, and they start searching him. Now remember, in this moment, this gentleman has no idea what this is about. Now, he is smart enough that he doesn't say a word. He keeps his mouth shut. Does not say a word. Doesn't make any sudden movements. I can relate. Pittman said he was scared and stressed during the encounter. I just don't want to do anything outside of what they were directing me to do because, you know, things happen, Pittman said. Ain't that the truth? You go to scratch your nose, you go to reach to pull up your pants because crawling on your belly causes your pants to shimmy down a little bit. I remember an intoxicated young man in the hallway, and he was in his nighttime, you know, shorts and t-shirt, and being intoxicated, he kept crawling, and his shorts kept falling down, and the officers pointing ARs at him kept telling him, you know, keep your hands where we can see him, don't reach, and then his shorts, as he was crawling, dropped, and just...
You're to keep your fingers interlaced behind your head. You're to keep your feet crossed. If you move, we're going to consider that a threat, and we are going to deal with it, and you may not survive it. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Hands straight up in the air. Do not put your hands down for any reason. You think you're going to fall, you better fall on your face. Your hands go back in the small of your back or down. We are going to shoot you. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Crawl towards me. Crawl towards me!
Yes, sir.
being a little intoxicated, not, you know, 100% coherent, reached to pull up his shorts as he was crawling, and bam, bad things happen. So yes, I 100% understand why this gentleman did not want to do anything other than what the law enforcement officers were instructing him to do. But he was smart because, as you'll see in the video, he kept his mouth shut. They asked him his name, all this information, and he just kept his mouth shut. Let them do what they were going to do. Offered no resistance. But what it looks like in the video is the marshal's office, U.S. Marshal's office, was looking for somebody. And they claim that the gentleman matched the description of somebody that they were looking for. So the U.S. Marshal's office instructed what it looks like the local police to perform a traffic stop. And once the traffic stop was performed, that's when the marshals would come in and react. Because usually the U.S. Marshals, when they want to talk or take control of somebody that's on the road, they don't perform traffic stops. They have the local authorities perform the traffic stops, and then they take over the traffic stop and do what they have to do. The video shows one officer telling an Aurora Police officer that Pittman was not the correct target.
Well, we could probably try to get a fingerprint scanner down there.
211 Adam.
I don't think he's done. It's all right.
209.
Is there anybody with a fingerprint scanner that can respond down here?
Any unit with a fingerprint scanner? Any unit with a fingerprint scanner that can respond at 209's call?
209, 1 second.
Okay, great. 211 Adam. Cruiser 10, did you get someone with a fingerprint scanner?
209, we got a passport on the guy, so we don't need it now.
Okay.
Can you run this? We got good ID, so it's not our target.
Okay.
So we can check for Palpo, and obviously I don't know if he's got dope in there or whatever, but there's no jurisdiction for DOC because it's not our guy and when you're a city. So push it as far as you want or don't want, but he looks like he has a CDL. He's not who we were after. Which sucks.
After they found his passport and realized it was not the person that they were looking for. I don't know if he's got dope in there or whatever. The officer says, it's not our guy, and we are in your city. So push it as far as you want or don't want. It looks like he is a CDL. He's not who we were after, which sucks. There you go. So U.S. Marshals could be heard on body camera, local police body camera, telling them, this isn't our guy. This sucks. But do what you want to do with them anyways. And the police department end up writing him some citations to kind of justify everything.
For Pittman, what did suck was not only the fear of the moment, but the traffic ticket police gave him before letting him go.
I was minding my own business. I went to see a friend. I went to visit a godmother.
A citation for a suspended license and bad left turn. After Pittman filed complaints, the judge dismissed the ticket in the best interest of justice.
The police in this case essentially went nuclear on use of force.
After police did not find any active warrants on Pittman's record, they let him go free, but not before giving him a citation for a bad left turn and a suspended license. Pittman filed complaints against the police and filed his own lawsuit in federal court a few months later. A judge dismissed the citations he was issued in the best interest of justice, according to court documents. Pittman, through his attorney, Chris Ponce, has filed an amended federal lawsuit against the officers from Aurora, Denver, and the Department of Corrections, alleging wrongful search and seizure and racial profiling. The police in this case essentially went nuclear on use of force, his attorney stated to local media. The whole situation could have been avoided if more efforts were made beforehand and before the use of force to figure out, hey, who's this guy that we're about to pull our guns on? So the attorneys are saying that the Aurora Police has a history of racial profiling. The Aurora Police Department, Denver Police Department, and the Department of Corrections would not provide comment for this story. All three agencies cited Pittman's pending litigation as the reason. Say, sorry, we cannot comment due to pending litigation.
Pittman says he was afraid for his life during the encounter.
People are either, physically assaulted or fatally shot.
I like the comment from the attorney when he states that the whole situation could have been avoided if more efforts were made before the use of force to figure out, hey, who is this guy that we're about to do this to? Yes. And I agree. Officers come up, can I get your license, insurance, registration, all that. And then if it is confirmed that it's the one they're looking for, then the marshals come in and do what they need to do. But to just pull over a vehicle because somebody matches the description of somebody that you're looking for and might be that person, and to put them through the use of force, have guns pointed at them, make that person crawl on the hot cement on their belly, all these firearms are pointed at them. You're paranoid to make a sudden move that could end you. And that's, a lot of cops don't realize this, okay? They think, oh, nothing happened, everything's fine. Don't be such a crybaby. We didn't do anything too bad to you. You're still alive. You're not hurt. Yeah, that's not the point. The point is, most police in this country do not understand, or maybe they do but don't care, that having somebody pointing a firearm at you, at your head, is so egregious, okay? Knowing that if you sneeze, get bit by a stinking mosquito, have a bee fly up and hit you on your neck and cause you to shudder, and your finger's on that trigger, you could end somebody. It's part of my job. Who cares? It's not me, not my family member. They say law enforcement is held to a higher standard. That's a crock. It is a crock. Because when a Leo does something wrong, their punishment is not equal to Joe or Jane Doe out there that gets in trouble. They get slaps on the wrist, or they get to trade in their Leo certificates for a do-over. Okay, I'll retire. I'll take my benefits and take my pension and I'll open up a donut store or a bar or something. I'll take all my money, all my taxpayer money that I've collected, and I'll go do something else. Enjoy the rest of my life. Who cares about all the lives that I affected, about the things I did wrong? Yeah, I'm human. I'm human. I made a mistake. Yeah. Thanks for the retirement and the get out of jail free card. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes the actions of Leo are so egregious that few and far between actually do get held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. But that takes a lot of public pressure and a lot of pressure from other government officials to make that happen. Occasionally, Leo is made an example of. It's in the grand scheme of how many Leos there are working in this country that mess up and drink and drive or violate someone's constitutional rights, break the law, get caught stealing on the take, or you name it. The vast majority get away with it. You can't say that in any other employment field in this country. Yet they're supposed to be held to a higher standard. What a crock.